All right, so now we're gonna talk about some things dealing with marriage and women and relationships and sex and virginity. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allahayna Yahweh Akkad Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Brakatham Yabarakakam Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna make a quick and brief head choppers. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13, all the way down to verse 21. Basically tells you if you have sex with a woman and her father gave you to her, and when you have sex with her, you find out that she's not a virgin, you take her to her father, her mother, you report her to the authorities, and they would take that woman and they would stone her to death because she played the whore in her father's house. All right, and then she tried to hide the fact that she had sex with a man already and married another man, and that's where the mistake, the major death sentence came in. You understand? So the other thing was, if the man went inside the woman and she was a virgin and he tried to perpetrate like she wasn't a virgin, then they would take that man, they would beat him or chastise him, and he would have to pay the father, I believe, 100 shekels of silver, which is roughly 40 ounces, because 1 shekel is 0.4 ounces or 40% of an ounce. So you do the math. All y'all former drug dealers out there, send me a shout out. Let me know how much 200, how much 100 pieces of a fourth of an ounce is, which a 0.4 ounces rather. So we know that's gonna be 400. That's gonna be 40 ounces. All right, so that's 40 ounces of silver that the man would have to pay if the woman was a virgin. He brought an evil name on her because that was an evil thing that he did. All right, so the woman was a virgin. If she wasn't a virgin when she got married, it had to be known that she wasn't a virgin. All right, so that she don't pass herself off deceitfully to another man. So when you look in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 22, it says, if a man lays with a woman that's married, then both of them supposed to die. All right, so you ain't supposed to be messing with another brother's woman. So once a man makes that commitment to a woman, and once a woman makes that commitment to them, that man, like, hey, we together. Once it's not whoring, once it's not fornicating no more, once it's like, yo, we together, that's it. You can't undo that. That's eternal. I mean, that's forever, for real, for real. So do the math. Before you got into this truth, you was messing with these women, messing with these men. You got to do the right thing now. You understand? Stop whoremongering, stop fornicating, stop committing adultery. And if you messing with a woman that's been put away by her husband, the scriptures tell you also that that's adultery, according to the words of Yahushua in Matthew chapter 5. You understand? Or messing with a woman that left her husband. So now we can go to Deuteronomy chapter 22, and we're going to look at verse 23. That tells you that if a woman is a virgin and she's engaged to a man, and then another man comes and rapes her in the city and she screams, then the man gets killed. The woman doesn't get killed. You understand? But if the woman, if the man is in the country, he takes a woman by force and she's engaged, or she's engaged and she never had sex with a man, then that man only gets put to death, not the woman. That's in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 25, all the way down to 27. Now, when you look in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29, it talks about if a man has sex with a virgin and they be found out, so people find out, hey, you mess with this virgin. The man supposed to go to her father and say, look, I'm going to give you these 50 shekels of silver. And the father say, nah, I'm straight. I don't even need that. You know what I'm saying? You keep whatever. So he supposed to compensate, and that man keeps his daughter. But the daughter don't get put to death. That's the difference. You see, it wasn't a death sentence to have sex before you had a relationship with a man. It was a death sentence to try to hide it. Even though when you had sex with a man and you didn't make that man your husband, that was considered to be zana, which is like the modern way to say, it would be like a whoredom or a whore, but it's a different understanding. A whore was a woman that was just just dealing with other men, not making those men her husband. Or a man is dealing with her and not making that woman his wife. He's entering into Zanawath also, or whoredoms also. Okay? So in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28 and 29, it talks about how the woman is supposed to be a virgin and this man has sex with her. And if he goes to the father, and if the father says no, then the man right here tells you, he takes the woman, gives the father those 50 shekels of silver, and then after that, he can't put the woman away anymore. So that woman stays his woman for life. You understand? But then when you go back into Exodus, which flip over there real quick, all right? When you go back into Exodus chapter 22, verse 16 and 17, it basically is telling you right here that if a man entices a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. You understand? Then it says, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay the money according to the dowry of virgins. So here you have this man had sex with a virgin, then went to the father the same way how Shechem did with our great ancestors, Diana, the daughter of Yaiquab, took the woman, had sex with her, and then went to the father. And then the father says no. So when the father says no, you got to respect that. Can't deal with that. You ain't supposed to deal with that woman no more. And then you got to give the father 50 shekels of silver, which is going to be about 20 ounces of silver. Once again, because a shekel is 0.4 ounces. So he had sex with the woman. The father said, nah, I don't want you having no relationship with my daughter. And then after that, you didn't deal with the daughter no more because the father refused to give you his daughter. So that's a law concerning marriage, and that's a law how we supposed to deal with the women. All right. Now, as far as the authority that the man have over the woman, all right, the man, you got to understand, had the power to stop a vow. So if the woman told Yahweh she was going to do something, and the husband said, no, you can't do it, then the woman didn't have to perform whatever she promised to the Lord Yahweh. All right? So now, even if the husband dies or she get divorced, she still has to respect his word. When you look in Numbers chapter 30, verse 9, but every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul with a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her, and disallow her. So basically it's telling you that when she make a vow, if the husband or the father or whoever allows it, then it still stands. If the father speak up and be like, look, I don't want you doing this, then the woman has to respect that because Yahweh respects it and he doesn't allow that vow to stand. So when the man doesn't speak up and lets it ride, then it rides. So you got to really read Numbers chapter 30 to get an understanding of the supreme authority that the man had over the woman in ancient Israel. And that's what got stuff twisted up now, because you're getting with a woman that don't understand her position or her role according to what Yahweh said, according to how her mothers, her ancestors conducted themselves. So you got to school this woman before you stick your rod inside of her. You got to make sure she meet the prerequisites of a righteous woman that can stand before you with honor when you stand before the Father. You understand what I'm saying? A woman that's not dealing with no other men, a woman that hasn't been divorced or put away from a man is the ideal biblical situation. But you can't always meet that standard that the Bible is setting for you, but you got to shoot for the stars. You understand what I'm saying? So the authority of the man is supreme over the woman, and the man has to be in order with Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Shalom.